Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to make a few brief remarks in honor of Congressman Patrick Joseph Kennedy of Rhode Island. With Patrick's departure from the House of Representatives to seek new challenges and enjoy some well-earned time out of the political spotlight, my home state of Rhode Island is losing a champion for working families, and our country is losing a public servant who did as much as anyone else to care for and lift up those in the shadows of life. It's a moment to thank Patrick for his many contributions to the lives of Rhode Islanders over his 16 years of service in the House, but also a moment to reflect on his unique place in the political history of our country. After all, the 112th Congress, the incoming Congress, will be the first in more than half a century in which no member of the Kennedy family is serving in either the House or the Senate. Patrick has proudly carried on his family's spirit of service and their fight for social justice. And to be sure, he has always been proud to be Ted's son. From the countless lives he lifted, Patrick said, to the American promise he helped shape, my father taught me that politics at its very core was about serving others. In that service of others, Patrick, too, brought to the rough and tumble of politics traits that made him unique, and he left behind accomplishments that allow him to stand on his own as one of the great legislators of our time. Indeed, of all the descendants of President Kennedy and of Bobby Kennedy and of our own late colleague Ted Kennedy, it was Patrick who last held public office, Patrick who longest held public office, Patrick who youngest held political office, and Patrick who most successfully used political office to further the family's mission of lifting up every American. In Rhode Island, a state that he adopted and that adopted him, he first entered public service at the young age of 21, winning his congressional seat a few short years later in 1994, one of only 4 GOP seats that Democrats won that year. Over the years, Patrick continually faced capable and well-funded opponents, but his constituents had come to recognize and welcome his humble dedication to their lives, re-electing him 7 times. He was my younger but senior colleague in our Rhode Island delegation, and I believe he took considerable enjoyment in being my senior colleague. Patrick, if you ever come back, you won't be senior any longer. I've got you on that one now. The arena of politics is combative, all the more so when your last name is Kennedy. But Patrick persevered, and he persevered despite his own health and addiction challenges. Instead of running from those challenges, instead of hiding from those challenges, Patrick had the courage and the wisdom to realize that the problem he was experiencing was a problem shared by millions of families in America. Instead of hiding from public scrutiny, he stood tall, not only on his own behalf, but also on behalf of Americans who needed a champion to bring their struggles to the forefront of the national agenda. With that resolution, Patrick's campaign for mental health parity took fire, resulting in passage of the landmark Mental Health Parity Act of 2008, an achievement Speaker Nancy Pelosi described as the legislative feat of the century. In that fine cause, Patrick had the chance to work with a towering champion of civil rights, the Lion of the Senate, his father. Peer to peer, man to man, they hashed out the final bill in conference together. The father, with his easy, booming laugh and affectionate camaraderie. The son, with his fierce but quiet determination. Thus did Patrick help lift up millions of Americans. Thus did he earn a place alongside his father, a man he called his hero, his inspiration. Thus did he emerge as a champion for so many who needed one so badly. Thus did he uphold the best traditions of the family and the nation he loved. Patrick's success as a member of Congress came not easily, not from the charm or charisma so characteristic and ready in his family, but rather from simple hard work, unshakable integrity, and his own quiet, formidable determination to win what others had only sought. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote in The Ladder of St. Augustine, "The heights by great men reached and kept were not achieved by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night." The story of Patrick Kennedy is not a story of glamorous, sudden flight to glory. It is a tale of long and silent toil, upward and in the night, in the shadow of his own challenges. The best part of this story is that Patrick's work is not yet finished. Neither his father nor his uncles got to experience life after public service. But stepping away from the Congress at the age of 43, Patrick Kennedy's road stretches ahead for many miles. I know that Patrick will continue to look for ways to give back to the state that gave him a chance to serve and the nation that gave his family a chance to thrive. And he will always enjoy the gratitude of Rhode Islanders whom he has served so well, and Americans whose burdens he has helped to relieve. And I, Mr. President, will always be proud to consider him a legislative inspiration, a political ally, and a beloved friend. Patrick, thank you for your service. You have done us proud. I wish you all the best in this new beginning. From Congress, farewell. I yield the floor.